Okay, so for this lesson, we'll be working on sequences. By the end of the lesson, we should be able to find and use the nth term of an arithmetic sequence. Throughout the lesson, we will be hopefully getting ourselves familiarized with the following keywords: arithmetic sequence, nth term, formula, and inverse. Moving on. So, first of all, I'm going to go through these two examples. Now, in an exam, mostly when you are asked about nth term, it will say find an expression for the nth term. So we first need to make sure that we remember that we use a method which we call DNO, and this is exactly how we will lay out. Now the letter D stands for difference, which means that we need to find the difference between 7, 13, 19, 25 and 31. And hopefully you'll be able to identify that you add 6 each time. So underneath the letter D, we will write the number 6. N, we just write N underneath it. Now the O is actually there to help us remember that we are actually after the 0th term. So we now need to look at the sequence and say what number would have appeared before the number 7. And if we are going up in 6s in the sequence, we must be going down in 6s if I'm going backwards. So 7 subtract 6 would be positive 1. Just make sure you get the correct sign as well. It's a positive 1. Likewise with the second example, it's exactly the same thing. So like I've done for the first example, I need to write D and O. And then we'll need to find the difference between each number. And as you can see, I'm going down in 3s. So I'll subtract 3 each time. So I need to write down -3. It's important to get the positives and negatives correctly, otherwise you will lose a mark. So it's -3. Underneath the N, I will again write the letter N. And then just like I've done for the first example, if I am going down in 3s, I must be going up in 3s if I'm going backwards. So 8 add 3 would give me 11. Now there's one thing missing here, and that's the positive before the 11. So my final answer will be -3n plus 11. Next, so this time we have already been given the nth term and we need to generate the first 5 terms of these sequences. So last week what we was doing was substitution. So what that means is 2n means 2 multiplied by n, and then we plus 3. So what I will do first is I will do 2 bracket 1 and then add 3. This will give me the first term of the sequence. So 2 multiplied by 1, which is 2, add 3, which is 5. That will be the first term in the sequence. The second term, 2 bracket 2 bracket plus 3, which will be 2 times 2 is 4, add 3, which is 7. The third term, 2 bracket 3 bracket plus 3, 2 multiplied by 3 is 6, add 3 is 9. And I'll do this for the fourth and the fifth term of the sequence. So 2 times 4 is 8, add 3, which is 11, and finally 2 times by 5 plus 3, which is 13. So the first 5 terms of this sequence will be 5, 7, 9, 11 and 13. That is my answer. Now I will do another example which is slightly different because it involves a negative rather than a positive, but I'll do exactly the same thing. So hopefully you'll all understand that 4n minus 2 means 4 multiplied by n, then subtract 2. So to find the first term of this sequence, just like I've done for the first example, it will be 4 bracket 1 bracket minus 2. So 4 times 1, which is 4, take away 2, which is 2. Then 4 bracket 2 bracket minus 2, 4 multiplied by 2, subtract 2, which will be 6. I will do this for the third, fourth and fifth term in the sequence. So for the fifth term, 4 bracket 5 bracket minus 2, and then I get 18. So the first 5 terms of this sequence are 2, 6, 10, 14 and 18. Normally in an exam it will ask you for the first 5 terms of the sequence. However, sometimes it will give you a sequence and it will specifically say to you, find the 50th term or the 100th term, or it could ask for any specific term in the sequence. If this is the case, you do exactly the same as what we've been doing in the previous slide, except it would be 2 bracket 50 bracket plus 3. So 2 times 50, which is 100, add 3, which is 103. So this 103 will be the 50th term in the sequence. Now I will find the 100th term in the sequence. So instead of n, I will insert 100, so 2 bracket 100 bracket, and then plus 3. So 2 times 100 is 200, add 3 is 203. That's my answer. Likewise, with this next example, it's exactly the same thing. So 4n, hopefully we all remember, means 4 multiplied by n. But we are only finding the 50th and 75th term of the sequence. So 4 times by 50, subtract 4. 4 times by 50 is 200, take away 4 is 196. And then with the next example, is 4 bracket 75 bracket minus 4. Now you have to be careful because you do need to know how to multiply. If you struggle to multiply, you need to be using the multiplication method. So the grid method or the long multiplication method. So 4 multiplied by 75, which is 300. And then subtract 4, which is 296. So the 75th term of this sequence will be 296, and like we've done before, the 50th term of the sequence will be 196. Okay class, so what I want you to do is I want you to do these questions, complete them and upload your answers on ClassCharts.